This is the iconic oven-baked cheesy crick snack you've always loved. And this, it's Cricks too. Can you spot the difference? No? That's because there isn't one. Cricks still has the same irresistible crunchy goodness, wrapped in a stylish new packet. Same delicious flavour, brand new look. So snack lovers, get ready to spot Cricks in the snack aisle. Cricks, same iconic taste, new stylish pack. Now in sharing pack size.
Roberto Matteo and Sergioli, it was as simple as it gets for them. A 1-2 that put them back onto the top of the championship. But when it comes to round 4, all the Sharks are circling now. We head to a circuit which has a little bit of everything, that has been the great all-rounder in terms of what racing tracks are in the sim racing sphere. This is the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and your Gaming Malta Ultimate Masters finds itself at its 4th stop out of 10. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone watching around the world. My name's Jake Sperry. Along with me is not James Lotter for this one, but Adam Reed, who's alongside me for this one today. And Adam, when it comes to this championship, this is all about the teams. ETA Esports walks into today with a championship lead, but 5 teams could walk out with that championship lead should scenarios go their way.
Jake, absolutely. We're in for a really close race. Of course, the Spa-Francorchamps circuit is always going to be one of those absolute incredible circuits in motorsport. It always brings so much action, the amount of corners it has, and of course the history of the circuit, from the old Spa where you turn left after the long Kemmel straight to now where you have the kind of 7-kilometer layout. But yeah, our teams are going to be very much prepared for this one. They've really got to make sure they're maxing out absolutely everything. Of course, they've got to really look at the setup, and of course strategy may come into play, because of course it is very team focus is the Gaming Malta Ultimate Masters here. I really do believe that we are set for some really good racing. I wonder if we are going to get any surprises coming out of the hat. So I'm really looking forward and intrigued to seeing how this goes.
Well, they can say it. Matteo 46 picking up the win at Monza last time out, ahead of Sergioli, his teammate. And there, of course, BRT, Joe Murphy in 3rd position there, making sure that the Bunga Racing team continue to keep themselves honest there. De Alpha Kevin didn't quite get the best run for Project Averse show, but they took the fastest lap bonus point, and pole, of course, going to Matteo meant that it was a flawless round by ET8's perspective, and they are very happy with that result here in the Gaming Malta Ultimate Masters 1 week ago in collaboration with Hyundai, Intercom, Sunshine Snacks, Level Academy, and JCap 2. Worth keeping in mind here, the championship. So it's an 18-point lead for ET8. But you're looking around. Team Shazoo have been the nearly team so far this season. Bunga Racing Team have been hot and cold. Cedars had a nightmarish run after being the championship leaders going into Monza. They come out of Monza in 4th position. And then Project Aversio need the stars to align for them to take the championship lead. They need a flawless run and an absolutely awful run, 19th and 20th from ET8 in order to pick up what they need. And then look back there between 5th and 9th, Adam, just 8 points splitting 5th through 9th positions.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really close. I wonder how a lot of these teams will do. Of course, as you say, Shazoo looking really good there, but also Cedar Phoenix. I think they've really got to step up their game going into Spa. I'll be interested to see how Project Aversio does. Of course, the team we know is being very, very strong in the Malta scene, and of course, so many great teams in there. Just hope to pick up some more big points and bag for the future championship rounds.
Yeah, the Igniters looking to try and unleash themselves. Optimum Velocity definitely struggling. They're already 102 points behind the championship lead as they look to try and navigate their way back. But this is Spa. This is the longest circuit on the calendar. It is the circuit that brings everything in. Now, in terms of teams, these are your lineups going into round 4 today. And it is worth noting that we have 6 returning drivers. Both the Bunga Racing Team drivers of Joe Murphy and Owen 07 remain. Both of the ET8 drivers in Mateo 46 and Sergioli remain in terms of their runs. And then NLR Ryan stays in for NLR Esports and Alpha Kevin stays in for Project Aversio. Outside of that, everybody changes, and there is, of course, the return at Team Shazoo of Showtime Cameron Dowds, which will obviously bring a big amount of emphasis back to Shazoo and give them a huge chance.
It is interesting seeing how competitive these drivers can be. Of course, it looks very, very close from the championship standard we saw previously. But I do wonder who will be the standout driver. This is the first time that I've been seeing any of these drivers, so we'll be highly interested to see what they do in terms of their strengths and their weaknesses, as well as trying to negotiate this sparse circuit. I'm sure there'll be plenty of overtaking. Of course, we know the nature of the circuit. Of course, like I say, the 7 kilometers, so many long straights, so many tight corners as well. And it's one where you have to really take in everything and just make sure you're on the limits every single time you take a lap around here.
Yeah, and there is NVR Gabor taking us then for a lap around the circuit to Spa-Francorchamps. The short run to the La Source hairpin and through Eau Rouge, up the hill. Radion, the right-hander at turn 4, and then flicking left before you fly up onto the Kemmel Straight. This long uphill launch where DRS is going to be important to find the overtake out there to Les Combes. These fantastic turn 7 and 8 section flicking on through. Then you've got turn 9, Malmedy corner, the highest section of the circuit before dropping down the hill at Bruchel's corner here, turn number 10. And this is where the technical middle sector of the lap challenges the setup.
Absolutely. Then you got the run all the way down the hill toward turn 12 of Pouon. Just got to keep the car as flat as possible. Just a little bit of a lift is all you need, and just get out to that outside curve, get the car turned in through. Then we head to the Lafanya chicane. You've got to be hard on the brakes, get the car twisted through, just like the Les Combes chicane, but a little bit more flowing. Try and use as much of the curb without invalidating your lap, and you're heading down toward the lowest part of the course of Stavolo, heading all the way back up through Blanchemont. It's an absolute blast through that section of the circuit. You're going to be topping at about 195 miles an hour, maybe even topping at 200 as you head through the left corner of Blanchemont. You're right on the limit through there, heading in toward the bus-up chicane finally.
Yep, and then that final chicane, of course, is the important one. It does teeter this track over FIA maximum length limit of 7 kilometers and 4 extra meters around the track. But we're going to take a very quick moment to step aside here with your Gaming Malta Ultimate Masters. When we come back, it's qualifying, and we'll see which drivers and which teams will find themselves in the best position possible, the top and pointy end of this grid. So qualifying begins then, 18 minutes, just the one session to put the best times out there together, and all these drivers looking up at the sky, seeing them a little bit bleak out there at this stage, and so there might be a big emphasis on getting out on track early and putting a time down as a banker. First time we've seen Tony RCH out there in qualifying, but at the front of the qualifying order is Cameron Dowd. Showtime wants himself right at the pointy end there for Team Shazoo in the Haas, but this is going to be a big qualifying. It's also the longest lap of the season, so it may just be a case of the least amount of opportunities to set a great time, which means you've got to be in between the markers.
Yeah, absolutely. You're probably going to have about 2 or 3 laps to get your best in. So sometimes you may want to wait a set, and some drivers like to go on to the intermediates just to kind of make sure their setup's all good, make sure their systems are all working, and then, of course, try and get used to the track condition before then going and burning a set of tyres on the soft compounds. We just can currently see Dowds making his way up toward Blanchimont and up toward the final chicane, because of course he's now just got to focus on this lap, which he's about to approach. So many cars in behind as well, so they're going to pick up a big old slipstream once they get onto their lap. I wonder if they're going to maybe make a bit of space. You can see how crowded the bus stop chicane is on the track map in the bottom right.
Yes, everybody's wanting to really push, and because this is F1 24, there is now newly minted areas of gravel around the circuit. On the exit of Last Source, there's a big section as well down the corner with no name, often known as Speaker's Corner. So you've definitely got a chance to say that there is a lot that they've got to do to get within the lines up the hill. But they now look to try and charge over through to the right and the left. There is a little bit of talk out there that it might rain over the course of this session, so urgency is important when putting the times in. That is almost perfect there. Go over the top of the crest, down in towards Bruchel's corner here. Cameron Dowds just needs to follow himself on a nice track. He uses all of the curb as he rounds his way through at the Speaker's Corner, and now he pilots himself to double ghost, this left-hander where all of the G-force is used. You're hitting 4.5 G through this corner.
Absolutely, yeah, pretty big numbers. Some ordinary folks that are driving their road cars. These racing drivers in real life are going to be hitting up to, as you say, 4.5 G. So you've really just got to be on the limit through there. Make sure your neck is strong enough in this one. But we're in simulator, so G-forces don't matter. They just get to focus on the road and focus. They will. Cameron Downs, of course, we know he's going to be the first driver to cross that timing beam as he heads his way up towards that final bus stop chicane to put in his first banker lap for his team. As he heads his way now around the last couple of corners, he'll then head over the timing beam. He'll take a 1:41.0 with him, and Eoin in second place there, just in behind. And NLR Ryan goes to the top there with a 140.9. So the first driver into the 40s pretty early on.
Yeah, it's a great time by Ryan. Worth noting at Bunga Racing Team, no Jay Murphy here today. So Justin is actually going to take the place, which is a little bit different to what we had. I don't know how late they made that call, but you can see there the Alpines then in a little bit of an issue right now as they dive back into the pits, not happy with their laps. Francesco Largo at CPI goes fastest, and Justin retires the car from the session, so will not go any quicker than what he's done out there at the moment. So that's going to be a little cause of concern, knowing that they've got the Bunga Racing Team at the back if no one else sets a representative lap time out there. But it is NLR on the pole as things stands. Then it's the Cedars Phoenix Igniters and Team Shazoo, your top three. Thomas Covers finds himself in 4th position for top tier motorsport, so he'll be quite pleased with that. And then Owen in 5th position will have a lot of work to do in that P5 to try and challenge, with Volakongen doing well. That is Noxie over the line, goes 9th fastest. First time out there, and that's going to be important. It's worth noting that after the opening round of the championship here, Adam, which was at the Red Bull Ring, it seems like there was a qualifying ban for Justin, and that's why he's unable to set a time.
Yeah, it does seem like that is the way the BRT driver will unfortunately have this qualifying session. But here is Matteo in the ALP for the E8 ET8 Esports, heading down that Camel Straight, topping out at 200 miles an hour. You really need some low downforce around this circuit, but just a few clicks up just to make sure you're getting around these corners, and getting around these corners he's beautifully doing. Really just trying to challenge the limits of the track. Is not the most ideal at this moment in time to just be testing those limits right now. You kind of want to be doing it on your second lap. I think if you're going to make a mistake on one of your laps, it would be your second lap, because of course you need a banker and you need a best lap, as I say, a flyer. So I think maybe the second lap will be the best to kind of push over the limits and see if there is if you potentially got it within the track. But Matteo not doing too bad here. I'd like to see his sector times, but at this moment in time, he looks pretty strong, and we hope. Oh, he is on an outlap. My apologies on that one.
Yep, so he's on that outlap, so he's looking to build up the energy into the tyres here, bringing everything he can on board to really charge forward with this lap. Ryan and Francesco Largo tied to the 1,000th of a second, by the way, up at the top. Largo was second to put his time in, so he's second fastest at the moment. That's the difference maker up there at this point. But when you got someone like him, someone who's been so quick in PSGL, you've got to keep your eyes on Matteo, and he did have a couple of laps out there at Monza, which really gave him the next level. And look how early he turns into the corner. I think it's wonderful the way that he drives. You either drive a smooth style or you drive this aggressive, stabby style and hope that the car grips up. He's very much of that Fernando Alonso style of driving, where he hopes the car just keeps and maintains that grip into the corner.
Absolutely, it does seem to be one of the styles in F124 where you really have to get the steering wheel turned into leg comms. How is he going to use it? Is it going to be smooth? It seemed to be pretty smooth in this case. No overturning the steering wheel, not trying to force the car in at any stage. So he's still trying to manage it at this moment in time. Bit of a lock up there on the front right corner. So it's just trying to get the maximum out of the car, and he's really flowing through these corners beautifully into Warpun, or double gouge, as some people may call it, just sticking it in mid-range 7th gear through the corners. This is an Alpine that looks to be on the top of its game, but he just needs to get it through the final sector of this lap.
Yeah, a little bit of sunshine comes out then, going through the Fania chicane and really attacking through at Campus, having to use all of the road and then some to get that navigated through the curve of Paul Frere. And now the long run to Blanchimont corner here, which is a fast left-hander. It used to be one of the most ferocious corners in motorsport. Now here, with the amount of downforce they have in Formula One, it's just a small flick. Allison goes fastest then for TTM. That's a big time for him out there at top tier, who are 9th in the championship. A 40.830 they'll take, and that's not what Matteo wanted. He's back down into the pit. So after all of that, the 3 minutes we spent with him, nothing gets him there. George Ansell, qualifying specialist, puts himself on the front row at the moment, which knocks NLR Ryan to the second row of the grid. But what can Sergioli do right now? It's only ET8 who hasn't set a lap time, along with Tony RCH. So we'll see what Sergioli can get over to the line. Crosses it and goes 6th fastest on a 41 flat. I tell you what, it's about 0.3 of a second, because Tony, oh, what a lap time. Tony's got a 10th clear of everyone.
Oh, TF10 are really in the money bags here, a front row and a second row for their drivers, Tony and George Ansell. I think they're really going to be ones to watch here. I think they're really looking strong here. Still need to see a couple of the Alpine Tigers. Matteo's come into the pit lane, so he's clearly not happy with one of his lap times there. Sergioli could only manage the 4th row alongside Thomas Covers in the other the Aston Martins with top tier motorsport. I really do believe there's some really good times in here so far, but of course, do not get used to that timing screen you see down the left-hand side. That will be all changed by the time the clock hits 0 and everyone's been over the line.
Yes, and that clock hitting 0 is going to be important, because the last car over the line, you may argue, has a really good opportunity on board with the Project Versio driver to Alpha Kevin. 41.6 at the moment, down 0.9 of a second here in qualifying. And this is the sort of qualifying field where 0.1 of a second feels like 1 second. by comparison. So the Alpha Kevin has a lot of work to do, but we naturally expect change, and suddenly half a tenth clear. Owen goes for the Bunga Racing team. The Sauber goes fastest, and that puts another notch on the belt for everyone. They are finding more and more pace, and I'm sure that as the track heats up, they'll get more opportunities to improve. The Alpha Kevin now rushing over towards Blanchemont. We'll see what he can put on the board then to move up the Project Avertio team when they're seeing likes of TF10 and TTM, their direct rivals behind them, having a great qualifying session. They need to step up here at Spa. Alpha Kevin over the line, 11th fastest. He did improve by nearly 3.5 tenths.
Absolutely, but the Mercedes, the Mercedes team representing Project Avertio currently running 12th and 17th, so they want to be making those improvements, maybe a few adjustments somewhere on the car, but they can't make too many. Only tire pressures and front wings will be available to these guys. We now ride on board here with the team Shazoo of Cameron Dowds. Of course, we've hyped him up quite a bit in the the opening of this broadcast, but yeah, I'm really interested to see what he can do. 6th is not too bad for a position at this moment in time, and he's still got plenty left on the table. A little bit wide there to the right-hander of Lecune, the final right-hander, and head now into towards the downhill section, really struggling to get the car together. This is not a great lap here for Cameron Dowd, just not hitting his apex, just not quite being not quite on the limit there, and just missing a few pointers that make up a good lap here.
Yeah, he can't quite get what he needs out of this one, and you got drivers who are in the pits going out on out laps and hoping that they can get a little bit of progress forward. The two Racing Bulls a little bit down the order at the moment. So for the future racing team, Simba Rocks 1 and ETA Agonize, they're having troubles. That's an abandoned lap by Cameron Dowds, and he might be trying to save the battery now as he's now on an in-lap here. We expect to dive down into the pits and get himself another set with 5 minutes to go. You've got a little bit of a longer reach in terms of the qualifying to get out and around. You need about 2 minutes in the back pocket to feel absolutely 100% on the limit. So that's where we're going to be starting to see here where the magic starts to happen. So now what is the question? Who's going to get what? Matteo now on a flyer, hoping that he's got what he needs in 8th gear, really trying to attack here. We'll see what this lap time's going to be with 5 minutes to go in qualifying, making that charge over towards the line. It's good enough for 3rd on a 40.79, which will do the job, I would say, at the moment for the ET8 esports team. I think they'll be happy with 3rd place at the moment, but there's still an element of improvement needed.
I definitely agree on you there. Of course, 3rd and 9th is not the best positions, but it will put you in the top 10, which kind of sets you up for some solid points. Sometimes when you do team sports like this, of course, the main important thing is to bag points. The last thing you want to be doing is having your own little inter-team battles and then costing yourself loads of time, loads of points, or maybe having any other scenarios that kind of hampers your championship. You just want to be mainly consistent, consistent and sometimes conservative at certain point of the championship. As you say, we're at round 4, 10 rounds of this championship, and of course the midway stage, of course you're still trying to gather points, but it'll be around about round 5, round 6, round 7, where you'll start to be more conservative in some places. So we now see the Racing Bulls of ET8 Agonize heading now down to the hill. He's completed the first sector time, and he's looking pretty good here. I believe 10th up last time I checked. Now heading through this downhill, so beautiful, like a roller coaster, really running the curbs there, trying to use every single element of that RB car to try and just get the car turned in, trying to find any sort of lap time that he needs. And you see that down in 18th and 19th, you find the two ET8 cars. They really need to just keep pushing all the way through. Yeah.
They really do, and now with ETA Agonized looking to attack the final sector of the lap, he knows that he needs 100th of a second only to get past Versha Mateus, and he'll be looking at the moment at OVR Noxie as a real opportunity to move on forward. Any position will be a good position gain, But you're looking in and around at the teams who are doing well. TF10 look the best at the moment in qualifying, and that's a dive back into the pit again. So once more, no dice there and needing to dive in because we're down to just 2.5 minutes. So you want to be out there when everyone else is. And now here comes the mad scramble. Everyone's going to be jumping out on circuit to get what they want. Have the Racing Bull drivers just got this all wrong at this moment in time? So that's going to be a real trouble there for the future racing team. Over the line goes Simba Rocks 1. He goes 16th, and it looks like 16th only. So completely out of sync with everyone else and out of order pretty much in terms of that qualifying. This is not the day that you want to be down the order when you get to select your team each and every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the track is now starting to really rubber in. I really do think that they're just trying to make something out of it. And also, Agonize will have to be out very, very soon if he wants to get a lap time and maybe even do a little bit of corner cutting, which is... No, you're right. He is unfortunately there. It'll be quite the stretch, but no, that car is not moving from the pit lane. They'll be starting at the maximum 16th and 19th. Terrible luck there for the future racing team. But we look back now to see everyone else currently signing their lap time. There is the Aston Martin of Top Tier Motorsport Allison. And I wonder how these final laps will go about here. We're really starting to get to the nitty gritty of this qualifying session with the rubber have been completely laid down. And it's all about putting those final good laps together.
Well, this is where you need to find the best lap time because you've got no chances left after this. Allison tipping the car through at Lake Coombe. Now over the top of the crest at Malmedy Corner and looking to try and see what improvement's going to be. At Bruchel, you can see all of the tyre marks there. They're on the circuit, so that gives you every single bit of understanding of how much you have to attack on these laps, how much they're dragging the brake through the middle of the corner, just trying to get rotation. This is an important lap for Allison, and he hopes that it's going to be enough to find the 2/10 he needs.
Absolutely, he's really looking to try and find any sort of time he needs, even if it's a 10. But 2/10 will be absolutely lovely if he could maybe take it up to even 3/10. But look at that on the Delta. He's got nothing between this lap and his best lap time here. This is going to be a real blast of line. He's using absolutely everything in his battery that he possibly can and just trying to carry all the speed. Yellow flag. I'm not sure why that's currently flashing away, but the timer is about to run out.
It is. Thomas Covers goes second fastest, and he's 0.5 short, so that was going to be perfect. Allison, no improvement, can only stay fifth at the moment. Tony RCH out there, grabs a bit of gravel, though, as he runs through at Speaker's Corner. That might compromise him ever so slightly on his lap, and he'll be keeping a close eye to the Delta to see how good his lap time's going to be. That's one of the Ferraris that won't improve, so Optimum Velocity, not amazing. NLR Ryan goes sixth fastest with his lap time, but this is the longest wait of the season as everyone crosses the line. Leon Rosenberg over the line goes 13th. Sergio Oli can't improve. He's stuck in 8th position. You got the likes of NLR Coolman who can't improve out there, and neither can Vola Kongan. He can't do anything more for Shazoo. Everybody has seemingly run out of opportunity late. Their Alpha Kevin's jumped up now to 12th position, which he'll take, but here comes Tony RCH. Oh, he's clattered the final curve. Absolutely clattered it. Lap time invalidated. Goodbye opportunity. He'll be third at best. And now it comes out to Matteo. It now comes out to one final chance in terms of what can he do out there as George Ansel pits and can only start in 9th position. It's him or Owen right now. And has Owen got an improvement there? No, he doesn't. So is Matteo going to find 2/10 of a second? Oh, he was close. He was 4,000ths close, but 4,000ths not enough. Owen takes pole for Bunga.
Oh, that's a really, really good result there for Bunga Racing, or should I say Bunga Esports. I really think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with, but it is a sandwich between that esports team currently 1st and 20th. But we are really set for a fantastic race around here at Spa, the slipstream, the DRS, the ERS management, maybe a low fuel run, but that is an incredible run in qualifying.
Well, what an important thing. So it is pretty much a Bunga sandwich at the moment. You've got a Bunga driver in P1, you've got a Bunga driver in P20 out there at the moment. So for the Bunga racing team, they will be looking at this as they've got a lot to do. 5 drivers within a 10th. Good qualifyings there by Matteo, by Thomas Covers, by Tony RCH, and then, of course, Francesco Largo finding himself up in 5th position for the Cedars Phoenix Igniters, the Season 2 champions. It's a tough qualifying here, and everybody is trying to step up and say, we are the team to challenge. ET8 will look at that today as championship leaders and go, that's an okay qualifying. That's about 6 out of 10 for what they wanted to achieve. They would have loved to have had 2 drivers inside the top 5, very much like they did when it went to Italy and Monza. So now they're sat in a position where they're looking around and everyone is just chomping at the bit to go and say, right, we're the team that's going to step up and take points away.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be a really interesting race here. As I say, Spa seems to be one of the great circuits for sim racing action. There's so much that goes on there. You have to be really pinpoint perfect with your precision, and really have to look ahead of what's happening in terms of some of the battles. That's really how sim drivers have to work when it comes to a circuit like Spa, like Monza, like Red Bull Ring. It's going to just be keep looking ahead and seeing what move you have to make next. I think some of these teams are really going to have to really come together and see if they can make something happen with their race in the card they've been currently dealt with.
Yeah, let's talk about the calendar and where we've been and where we're going then, because I think it's important to keep this in mind. So round 4 of the championship here at Belgium, we've got the wonderful circuit of Silverstone that comes up at the halfway stage, and then we've got the break, which brings in the transfer portal and the transfer period of this season, where drivers can switch rosters, and maybe if you can gain a little bit more out of a driver, you might want to jump a team and go through before the quick second half of the season. Of course, with Mexico at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, of course, you got Interlagos, you then got the Jeddah Corniche Street Circuit, you got the Las Vegas Street Circuit, and then Abu Dhabi to finish off the season. A very lightning fast finish to this calendar.
Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to that kind of a sequence of, I believe it was Brazil, Saudi Arabia, then Las Vegas. Awesome circuits around there, and being under the lights of Saudi Arabia, heading down the strip. I think that's going to be an incredible spectacle for these drivers. Hopefully see 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide in some scenarios. But then you head to Abu Dhabi. I'm really looking forward to that, especially Silverstone. That's always an awesome circuit to go to. And of course, like you say, that transfer, that's going to be really important, especially if you find a driver and figure out that they could get you some really good results, and could be the potential between championship and losing out by a couple of points.
Yes, and this is a championship which is made on points. There is a maximum of 57 available for drivers over the course of a championship week. And there you can see it. 30 points then for a race win, 25 points for second position. You get a point for pole position and a point for the fastest lap. But crucially, you see those points drop from 5-point increment to 3-point increment, second to third, to 2-point increment from third all the way down to 8th place. And then it's 1-point drop. You don't get anything in this championship. I'll say it till the cows go home. You don't get anything in this championship for being in last place.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's probably the worst